We are Journals Out Loud. I'm your lovely and captivating host, Louise Palanker, here with a panel of wise and wonderful teenagers. Yes.
I've been out there wandering.
That's the part where people sing. Yes. We're here with Kenneth, Lyric, Josh, Victoria, all of my favorites. We've got a house full of wonderful people.
Wow.
And we have our special guests from teenlineonline.org. And teenlineonline.org is such a wonderful organization, and we've been referring our users to this helpline for many, many, many years. Maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 8. I'm not exactly sure because I'm not good with time or numbers. But my point is this. Teenlineonline.org is a helpline where when you call, you're going to be talking to someone approximately your age. And we've got Rick, who's here with us, and you have gone through the program and gone through the training, and you tell us your background with Teenline.
Right. So I worked with Teenline actually online for about 3 years. It started when I actually got a bunch of free time my junior year of high school, my first time around junior year of high school, because I became very depressed, suicidal, and then I had to drop all my classes. So in the free time, I was able to take up the really intense training that Teenline puts you through. It's 65 hours. You can't miss a single session. And then it's even more hours just working up and answering emails that people send in. You can also email before we actually take calls and texts. And we also do outreaches. It's an amazing program.
So how do you find that it helps a kid who's having problems? How does it help you to get outside of your own head and help someone else with their problems?
I think of it a lot of times, it's kind of like an on-demand heart-to-heart in a sense. Anything can come up. You may call for one reason, and other things may come up while you're just speaking about it, and we're there to support. The main thing here is that when you call, everyone on the line is going to listen. They're going to be there for you. They're going to be on your side. And I find even when I talk with friends about things, sometimes I don't always get that because, friends, there's that casualness to it. And sometimes friends aren't always the best people to take all your problems to. But at Teenline, we will be there. If all the time we get this opening of, look, I've never told anyone this in my life, and then we get one of their most hidden and most precious secrets that comes out, and we get to be the people on the line who are like, wow, I feel you. Yes, I get that.
And it's an honor to receive that.
So much.
If they haven't shared it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you take that as a responsibility, and you want to make sure that you nurture that honor and make sure that you let them know that what you just said to me is completely safe in my ears because I'm here for you, and I feel really special that you shared that with me. Because it's not like they call and say, hey, I've got something to tell you. It's probably part of the conversation, and if it's going well, they will then tell you. Is that how it usually goes?
That's how it happens a lot of times. We also get like, hey, I just got to say this to someone. Mm-hmm. And you can just call us up and rant. If you need someone to just rant to, we are so there for that. Everyone there loves that kind of stuff.
All right, so can you introduce, we have some of the directors of Teenline who came with you tonight. Who do we have?
So we have Cheryl and Michelle, directors of the program in various aspects.
All right, let's have Cheryl step to the microphone and tell us a little bit about what she does.
Okay.
Hello,
Hi.
Cheryl.
Hello. Thanks for having me. So a little bit of my background. I actually started myself as a Teenline listener when I was 14. So I have a long history with Teenline. Now I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I've been involved with Teenline for more years than I probably should count. But it's definitely impacted my life. What I do right now is our teens are all supervised by adult mental health professionals, and I supervise those adult mental health professionals. I also do
There we
Is
go.
that better?
Just tip
Sorry.
it a little. Tip
Okay.
it a little so your mouth is, yeah.
I also do parenting education programs to the community, educating parents how to better communicate with their teen and knowing the warning signs of suicide and depression. So we also have a special website for parents specifically and a bi-monthly blog for parents to just get some insight into their teens.
Will you talk to parents? Is there a helpline where parents can talk to you, or that's not an area where you go?
Not quite yet. That possibly is down the road. We do get calls on our hotline from parents sometimes wanting to talk to another teen about their teen. And that's fine as long as it stays specific to their teen. Like, my 17-year-old doesn't want to talk to me. What should I do? And sometimes it's helpful to talk to another teen. If they start delving into their issues, that's not really appropriate for us. So, But parent line may be down the road.
All right. Panel, any questions for our guests? Victoria?
What is the process that you guys use to train your teens?
I can answer that, or Rick can. Yeah, sure. It's really intense. You obviously have to be interested and have time and passion and all of that sort of stuff. We have a screening process that you fill out an application and submit letters of reference, and then you come in for an individual and group interview. And we want to make sure we're a good fit and you're a good fit. And then the training, like Rick said, is 65 hours. You usually come twice a week. And you meet, there's usually about 20 kids in a training group. And honestly, Rick will talk about this too, but it becomes like group therapy in a lot of ways. You start off just getting to know each other, talking about things like active listening, problem solving, and then you get more into the heavy topics because we get calls about anything you can imagine, from suicide and rape to child abuse, relationships. So basically you have to be trained in everything. But where training becomes like group therapy is people share their own experiences with these things and might even in training share things they've never shared before. So also it's really interactive. It's not like you're going to school and just sitting there and like taking notes. It's very interactive. You do a lot of role plays, a lot of practice calls, a lot of just practice for being on the line.
So Rick was going to share with us, if you would take the seat again, Rick was
Okay.
going to share with us a little bit of the active listening that they do and give us, Rick, you just broke the show.
I think I broke it, sorry.
The good thing about our show, though, is that it's very repairable. So no permanent damage. So we were talking before the show, Rick, and you were asking me if you could give an example of how you guys listen. And do you want to role play with somebody here?
We could do that.
Yeah.
Did you want us to do raise our hands?
So Ken,
is
you
it,
must
chosen,
have something that you wanted to call Teenline about tonight, right?
Yes.
So call.
It's like you know me.
Make that call, Ken. They're here for you.
Are we gonna make like a?
Oh, I wish we had.
Bling.
Matt would have lined that up for us, no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, this is Teenline. My name is Rick.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Ken, and I'm just having a lot of issues right now.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. I'm in a relationship that I'm stuck in, and I don't want to be in it anymore.
Yeah, that's really hard. Can you tell me more about the relationship?
It started out great, but now it's not. And I don't want to hurt the other person by ending it because they are depressed. And if I did, I wouldn't want anything to happen to them.
Yeah, that's so hard because on the one hand, you really do care about this person, I can tell. And you're just trying to find a way to also protect yourself in this situation and do what you want. How long were you together?
2 years.
Wow. So what do you think might happen if you broke up knowing that this person's depressed?
They probably wouldn't know what to do, I guess, and they'd feel abandoned.
And I imagine they already feel kind of lonely to begin with, and so this abandonment would really make things worse, you think?
Probably.
Okay. Do you know what they do when they're feeling really depressed? Are you worried about them harming themselves or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I had a friend ask me this question. I didn't know what to say, so now I'm trying to see what you would say so I could tell them.
So after any of your phone calls, do people customarily give a round of applause? Because we sometimes do here. That was really good, you guys.
Whoa! Do you give
All
advice or listen, or a little bit of both?
So we generally just listen. And what I've found is even when people are asking for advice, a lot of the times what they're really asking for is, look, I just don't know what to do with all these different choices. I don't even know what all the choices are available to me. And so just by talking it out, if someone, hey, I need advice on this, what do I do? And we just talk about this situation. And a lot of times just talking about it in depth, asking a lot of questions, they'll figure it out themselves. And then they'll come to, you know what? I know exactly what I need to do.
So it's like you kind of like pour all the ingredients into a bowl, stir it up so that they can see the cake instead of just all these ingredients that are all over the kitchen.
Yeah.
Or-
yeah.
Or that's a really bad
Easier way to
analogy.
put it, looking outside the box.
And I mean, also the reality is sometimes there will not be a solution. There will not be some
No cake.
magic decision. No cake. And that's okay because, sometimes things are a mess and we're just acknowledging, yeah, that's a mess. Messes are really difficult when there's no cake in sight.
And life is like that. Some days there's cake, some days there's no cake. And I know that if I look at Lyric, she's going to start laughing, so I'm not going to look at her. She just had that. She had that expression where it's like, okay, church laugh is about to happen. Give us a call at 888-531-7171. Yes, Ken.
Oh, I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
When do you guys feel like, because sometimes there's like a process where when people deal with issues themselves, it like makes them grow as a person. When do you feel like this is something more like you should like try? Like, can you ever do that? Can you ever be like, this is something that I feel would be best if you dealt with it on your own? Or are you just kind of there like are you there not to give advice and just listen like you said?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you mean by like, because we're not just sending them off on their own. If anything, we're just exploring around with them.
I see.
Because sometimes it just helps to have someone getting lost in that mess with you. Even if it's just be like, yeah, that really sucks. Or like, oh, that's, you're really strong and brave for doing that. Just those little affirmations.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like people usually try to fix things, and, like, sometimes all you need is, like, someone to listen to you and, like, be like, yeah, that really sucks. Because, like, for, with friends or parents, people try to fix it, and sometimes, like, that's not what you need. And so is that kind of what you guys offer, like, a shoulder to, like, lean on and, like, just, like, let's talk about that. We can, like, explore it. Yeah, like what you said.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really well put.
Thank you.
Do you think that this training makes you a better friend?
No.
You're like, I can't talk to you. I'm answering the teen line. You got to be good on your own. I don't got you. No. Why did you say no? That was interesting. Answer.
Right. It becomes really difficult, especially once my friends knew that I was doing Teenline. Whenever they were talking to me about something, sometimes I would just have gone through a training and I have these like kind of phrases that I've developed and I'd use them and they're like, don't Teenline me.
Oh.
So
They've turned it into a verb.
Exactly. So it's, picking and choosing from the training and then learning how is that going to fit into how I like to interact with people.
Wow.
For me, the biggest thing I took out of training was the power of just saying, okay, and nodding. Rather than, if someone's telling me a really deep story that's super emotional, I don't always have to, after every phrase, I don't have to be like, oh, that sucks, or like, oh, wow, or like, oh, that's bad, or like, oh, that's good. I just be like, I get you.
And you identify as genderqueer?
Yes.
And when did you come to that truth for yourself?
I mean, it wasn't like a light switch kind of deal. So it was a long process of a couple years, but I think I really just went into it around last November.
Was it one of those things where there's so much more awareness about gender possibilities that you said, oh, I think I identify more with this than just with being male or being female? Like, is it that in today's time it's just more open and there's just much more that people can be in getting closer to who they actually are, where we used to just kind of fit ourselves into holes because that's what we thought was available to us?
I definitely do think that where I was in a very liberal college studying gender studies gave me a lot of language to better understand what I was going through and then, piece it together that way. So in that sense, yes. And I became way more attuned to what language was doing. Also, I generally started to feel way ickier whenever someone referred to me as he or boy or especially sir. Hate that. Mm-mm.
So tell us the pronouns that you like.
They, them, there.
And you don't mind the pluralness of it? Because people in my generation, we're kind of stuck on, but how will you know how many of they there are if there's only one they?
So they went over there, them two went to the store. You just have to, consider it a little bit and then fall into it in practice. Also, like the whole, it's grammatically incorrect. That's just wrong. People all the time use singular they. The mail delivery person, they came at like 2:00. Everyone does that always.
Yeah, I feel like it
they
makes
do.
sense.
They do, and they it also means you know what they say, and so it's like who says it? One person or a lot of people, and where are they? And then my nephew Jake, who's here tonight, he's always telling me that we're constantly reinventing language. That's what humans do.
Mm-hmm.
So if enough people are using language, it becomes language. There's no language boss that sits on God's shoulders and says, "Wait a second, what's happening on Earth? Unacceptable." Kenneth.
Oh, I just wanted to what would you give? That's weird. Okay, what is the best explanation, or definition that you would give of genderqueer?
So queer to me, and right now, going off of so many theorists and so many people before me, it's queer defies definition. It's unstable. It's always moving across time, across, all kinds of things. And so to me, pronouncing myself as genderqueer just means if one day I feel more like a boy, one day more like a girl, one day more like something else, one day I'm just like gender's not happening today. It's all there, and then I don't have to reinvent to myself, well, what am I today?
Okay. So it's a label that works for every day. Who had a question?
I was just wondering, when did you feel like that was something that frustrated you? When it was like, oh, I don't like being called this, or like gender is something that is something. Gender is something I am not okay with being only one of them.
I just maybe for the past 3 years or so, 4 years, gender has been on my mind.
All right.
Yeah, and I gotta say, though, really, the language is limited in use. Pronouns are not going to be the be-all, end-all. It's really about that other kind of recognition. I'm not just going to, use this pronoun and think about it a little bit. I'm actually going to try and see outside of two genders.
That's really, really interesting. And thank you for bringing that to our show because it's really important. And there's so many kids in our app who have identified with what you're discussing today. And you're the first guest that we've had on the show that can speak to this. So I really appreciate it. Kenneth, would you please read the question from our first question? Yeah. Are you ready to mirror some really good listening? No, you actually may have to have an opinion because that's what we like to do.
I got many.
Okay. Let's see. Or you can stop us and say, wait, why don't you just sit and listen so we can learn from you. All right, Kenneth, go ahead.
All right. So Anonymous says, I'm 13 and I came out as gay 6 months ago. When I came out to my parents, I thought I could finally be myself, but they don't want me to tell anyone, and they refer to my identity as the secret. I am a good kid and I really obey my rules, so I'm not going to go behind their backs and tell someone. I really want to tell my cousin, who I am really close to, because I know she would be accepting, but they even said no to that. What do I do?
Lyric?
I feel like if it's not making, whatever makes you feel comfortable, because it is your thing, it's it's you. And, I understand, it's hard if you want to do something that your parents, and respect what your parents are saying, but I feel like if it will make you feel free in yourself to tell this other person, and you're sure, that they will keep your, secret and keep this confidential, then I think go for it. It's you. It's you and your business.
Yeah, completely going off of what Lyric said. I think that your parents are just concerned of what could happen and the fallout from telling people, and there may possibly be some things that happen. People might agree, people might stop talking to you. It just might happen, but at the end of the day, whatever you feel comfortable with, like Lyric said. Kenneth?
I just wanted to say that it's your secret to tell, not theirs. It's your decision. And, parents do have a big influence on what you say and what you think, but this is something that is your own, and they shouldn't have control over who you tell that to.
But there is this concern. She's thinking of telling her cousin, who is the daughter of one of her parents' siblings, and her cousin is going to be completely fine with it. It's her parents that are struggling, and it's if she's known for a little while, then she had time to get used to this concept. When you come out, it's brand new to your parents, and they have to relearn their whole expectations regarding their own child. So would she be unhappy in her household if her parents are upset with her? Is it worth it, or should she just be a little bit patient, Victoria?
So, okay, so my cousin did something sort of like this, but it was not like this. It was not, exactly like this. She told me that she had a nose pierce, which was like really, like, it was a huge one, like the ones that go like right through, like,
Septum.
yeah, septum pierce. Thank you. And she didn't want me to tell her parents. So I was like, okay. And it was a little hard because, like, she would, like, go swimming and she'd be like, okay, I need to go to the restroom so I can take this out. And I was like, okay. And then they'd be like, where's Veronica? And I'm like, she's in the restroom. And like, it would be really hard. And like, sometimes I'd like almost slip out, like saying something like, don't you not want to do this because of, oh yeah, I can't say that.
And it puts you in
kinda
an
thing.
awkward position.
Yeah. And what happened was that she just hid it with me until she was 18 and allowed to do what she wants, I mean, it was not, it was like she was 17 when she got it. So, I mean, I guess you can hide it until then, but I don't know if you want to take that risk of
She's
them.
13. That's 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the question it states, like, the parents are on board with it. They're not. I don't think it's very possible that they're scared of the situation, or they just, like you said, they need to relearn what their child is. I think in this situation, it might be more they're concerned of like how other people are going to react to them, and they raising a child that way, because it doesn't sound like their parents were not okay with it. It just said like that it was a secret that's going to stay between them and the kids. Lyric?
I feel like telling your cousin is kind of like kind of what Victoria said, could put him or her in an uncomfortable place. Or was it her? Yeah.
It was her, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like they're going to have to keep that secret. And, like, what if, like, they're so close to slipping? Which, I'm sure that they're very trustworthy. But I feel like it's a little bit, like, slightly risky just because that's a lot of secret and responsibility to put on one person. But I think, like, ultimately, yeah, like, it's your decision, and whatever you just, like, weighing out the possible what could happen is kind of like something you can do to see.
They could also be scared for their kid because I mean, like, they could think that they're going to get bullied or they might be scared for them, and we don't know for sure,
Yeah, echoing a lot of things that have been said, it's a lot up to you and as Lyric said, comfort. And so that's weighing your own safety versus that emotional battle. And either way you choose, whether it's coming out or fighting that resistance of, keeping that secret, and that is hard, it's courageous either way.
Yeah.
And, only you can judge that safety component. Just know, we have no idea what the living situation is. You're 13. You might be dependent on your parents for a while. What's that going to do? And, it sucks that they're, blocking that help and support in your cousin. There's so much other support you can reach out to. You can call Trevorline, which is amazing. It's similar to Teenline, but it focuses on queer people. You can look at online spaces, look at clubs, get support for you.
And I would also like to add that you've come out to your parents, and that is huge. And so this starts to become just a thing that is another thing about you. And with every passing month, secrets don't stay secrets. They just become a thing that is. And so let another month go by, sit with your parents and say, you know, it would really help me to tell Jennifer. And your parents will have spent another month getting accustomed to this reality. And this period of time will not last very long. And pretty soon this will just be something that everyone knows about you, like the color of your hair or whether or not you like olives. It's just a thing about you. And you're going to be fine. And I think it's awesome that your parents didn't respond in a way that would have been really violent and unhealthy. Where a lot of kids, when they come out, it's not as good as it was for you, even though we wish that they were more open-minded and that they weren't worried about what people thought of them, which is, I think, what is blocking them at the moment. Not that they're worried about you. I think they're worried about what people think of them. But that's just my opinion, and I think that we're all on a journey here, and your parents are on this journey. And just every now and then, when everyone's in a good mood, say, hey, Mom, Dad, it would really help me. Maybe we could go to therapy. Could we all go to therapy and talk about this? Because maybe another adult professional can help your parents understand how important it is for you to be your whole total self, the way any straight kid would be able to talk about crushes and, you know, every part of life that, you know, that straight people take for granted. Do we have a phone call?
We do. They're on.
Hello, thanks for calling Journals Out Loud. Who is this?
This is Katie.
Hi, Katie. Did you have a question or a comment for us?
Well, I wanted to comment on the current question about the 13-year-old girl.
Okay, wonderful. We're listening.
Well, I think it's her decision because it's how she feels. Shouldn't it be her decision to decide who she wants to tell and doesn't want to tell?
It should be. Ideally, it should be, but she has to live with these parents. And so we want to make sure that she's not doing something that's going to make the rest of her life uncomfortable. So it's kind of like baby steps until you can start running. But, you know, she's only in 8th grade. That's why we worry that she has another 5 years of living at home under this roof with her parents, and she wants to kind of be sensitive to what how they're accepting this information. But I'm totally in agreement with you, and if I knew her parents, I'd pull them aside and say, hey, listen, this isn't helping. Rick, what do you have?
Yeah, and Collier, you're absolutely right. Like, even if it does mean the parents kick this person out of the house, it's that person's decision. You know, sometimes the emotional distress of living in that environment is just not worth it.
Right, and everything we do comes with choices, and there's consequences to either way that you choose. And we just want to make everybody aware of what could happen, and that's why she wrote to us, Lyric.
Yeah, and I feel like the way, if you want to ask your parents, like, I feel like the way that you ask it is kind of important, because if you just say, I really want to tell my cousin, like, they might be like, well, I don't really understand why. But if you say, like, it would really help me because I don't feel like I have anyone other than you guys that I can, like, really trust and tell something and spill to, which I guess you could go to Teenline and tell people about that too. Yep. But your advertisement right here. But I think, like, yeah. So yeah.
And thank you so much for calling and sharing your thoughts, Katie. We really appreciate the call. Yes, go ahead. We're listening.
Well, this was actually my question.
Oh, okay.
I wrote this question in.
So tell us what you're thinking. Tell us a little bit more about the situation. Help us out.
Well, the worry was my cousin, she's very social, so there was a little bit of problem about her telling someone, and she's very close with her mother, so I thought maybe that she would tell her mom, and her dad is very much against the idea, and I was worried if my mom would take her brother's side instead and then go against me. Then so, like, the whole situation would turn against me.
I understand your concern, but you are your mother's number one priority, and no one's going to change her mind about her own daughter. Kenneth is saying...
yeah,
okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't really agree with that. Sometimes parents get tunnel vision sometimes, and when they hear something that they don't want to hear, they won't exactly think in your best interest, and they'll be like, I feel this way. That is the correct way. You are wrong, and I am right. And so that's just my opinion on the fact. And do you think, Kathy, if you were really straightforward about it, Katie, I'm so sorry. Do you think, like, if you, like, were really straightforward to your cousin, or like, I really need you to not tell anyone, if they would actually do it?
No, no, I don't think so.
Trust your gut there.
Then why do you think they would be the best person to tell then?
Well, I mean, she's my first family. Like, if I wanted to tell anyone in my family, she would be the first person I would go to. And she's in high school. She's gonna go to college soon, and I know she has friends who are gay or a lesbian, and I think she would be able to provide me information like how easy or hard it would be for me going into high school and what I would experience.
She will be able to provide you with that, but I think you should maybe wait a month and then talk to your parents again and say, it would really help me to be able to talk to people about who I am and not have to keep this a secret. It's just another part of my personality. Josh, what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was just going to say that I think that she would be a great support for you. If she has friends that are in that community, then she's already accepting of that community, and she will keep it a secret for you if you ask her.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know your cousin. And I think, and you've already told a couple of kids, and I think pretty soon, this isn't the kind of secret that keeps. Pretty soon, everyone's going to kind of know, and they're going to be coming up to you and saying, hey, I understand.
That's not always true.
It's not always true?
It's not always true.
Really? Even like how many friends have you told?
2, and I've known them since 2nd grade.
And they haven't told anybody?
Yeah, they haven't told anyone.
All right, Ken, what were you going to say?
Do you think your parents would go to an extent of actually like kicking you out if you told your cousin, if they found out?
No, but I think my mom, she's very bad with just like holding grudges, so I don't think she would talk to me for a while.
Oh, no. Really? So is it possible that you could ask your parents for family therapy? Is that something that they might do?
We already did that, but what would happen is like they would act normal when we went there, and then they would like just change personality when we got back home, and they would yell and all that
Oh,
stuff.
I'm so sorry. That must be really hard. And you don't deserve that. This is going to get better.
I hope so.
Oh, I know so. I'm really sorry that your parents are struggling with this. And go ahead, Rick.
Are you familiar with PFLAG? It stands for Parents of Lesbians and Gays, but of course, it's all LGBT. And it's just an organization for different parents to connect. I believe kids are also welcome in that space, but it's primarily for parents to talk about what it's like to have a child who is queer.
So can you write this down for us, Katie? PFLAG?
Yeah.
And then Google that. And that would be maybe even a better support system than just going to a family therapist, because there's also a YouTube show where we've had the creators and the stars of the show on this podcast, and the show is called Out with Dad, and it's something you may want to watch a little bit of that the first season yourself, and then see if you would maybe want to share that with your parents, because it's about a young girl who her dad knows she's gay before it's a little bit of a twist, because he knows she's gay and he's trying to figure out how do you say to your kid it's okay for you to tell me you're gay. But it's also, and it's filmed in Canada, and so they mention PFLAG, and PFLAG in Canada, I forget, it's a little bit different in Canada, the website, but that's definitely a great resource for you guys. That's really good, Rick. Thank you so much for calling, and
right,
please let us
you.
know how things go and any other way that we can help you.
All right.
Okay, take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Lyric, do you want to read the next question?
Sure. A couple of years ago, I was dating this guy called Ty. I was really in love with him, but suddenly 2 of my guy friends had crushes on him. Both said it was hurting.
Wait, they had crushes on
me,
her.
Oh. I was like a little bit confused. I was like, what's going on? Okay, sorry. Both said it was hurting them that I was in love with someone else, and I was worried they'd hurt themselves, so I broke up with Ty. I never told Ty why I broke up with him. We have had a couple of moments since then where he's grabbed my hand and we've had some intense stares at each other. He's a really horny guy, and I know he's been getting stuff done by other girls, which makes me mad because I don't want to date someone like that. But I can't help the fact that I've been in love with him for 2 years. Should I tell him? If so, how? Or should I move on? He also lives far away.
Josh.
Yeah, well, I think part of the reason why you feel the way you do is because you left it when you didn't really want to. You did it for someone else, and at the end of the day, like, this situation happened. I mean, I'm not sure quite. Did it say 2 years ago, or it just said he's been in love for 2 years? She's been in love. It happened a while ago, I'm assuming. And at the end of the day, like, I think it is something you're just gonna have to move on from. He seems like he's moved on. And right now, it's not something that's healthy. I would just say, for future reference, do you?
Do you? Thoughts, Ken?
I would definitely have to agree with that. I mean, maybe if it was a shorter time period, but the fact that it's a couple of years ago. And by the way, I don't really find that's a really good job on your friends to put you in a position like that. I think that's really messed up that they force you to break up with a guy because they like you. And you know, it's a really tough situation because if you thought they would hurt themselves, I can understand why you would do that. But at the end of the day, like, you got to remember what Josh said. Do you? It's like, so.
Yeah, and also ask yourself why you were willing to break up with someone that you liked because two other people liked you. Like that, we're not supposed to be that manipulatable. Is there a word that I'm looking for? We're not supposed to be that easily manipulated.
Mhm.
We're supposed to stand our ground and say, I love you as a friend, and just look at someone and say, this is who you are in my life, and I hope that works for you because this is what I'm going to do, and this is what works for me. Victoria.
I don't know if this is the right type of guy you want to be around. Like, I mean, you seem like a really nice person, so I think that you should move on. You deserve way better. If he's like already like with other girls, then I mean, he's moved on pretty fast. That's kind of scary to me, and it seems more like it's not love to me. Like, that doesn't seem like love to me. And and you could have also told your friends, like, okay, so they both like you. Do they both know that both of them like you? If that was so, then it would be bad if you dated one and not the other, and then it would just be like really complicated and like
how do you choose between them?
Yeah, and so I would say no to both of them and say, look, if I were to date one of you guys would be hurt, and it would be awful. So I have to say no to you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I get it that they could hurt themselves, but I mean,
no one gets to hold that over you. You can simply suggest to them that maybe they need to call a helpline if they're feeling sad about circumstances, and we all face circumstances that aren't pleasant, and we all have to learn how to cope or how to heal. And you can't be the world's Band-Aid. You can simply state, your truth. Lyric.
So I feel like if you were to tell him that you were in love with him or what happened before, why you broke up with him, I feel like since it happened fairly long ago, it might be slightly out of place. Just kind of like, I mean, I think it's a really nice gesture. Like, if you were to be like, I just want you to know, here's why I broke up with you before, just to kind of make everything like clear, and so that you won't have to be like feeling kind of bad about that, not have that weight on your shoulders. But I think it's not really completely necessary, like, for you to tell him that you're in love with him, or that you that why you broke up with him, because it's just kind of like, it's kind of bringing stuff forward that was kind of in the past. I don't know.
It may not be in the past for her, though, since she's posing the question. So maybe some clearing.
No,
of
I mean,
that
from his perspective, it might be kind of like,
right. But since it's kind of haunting her in a way, and she feels like there's a lot of unfinished business here, she may want to just have that conversation with him rather than holding hands or doing romantic things with him with all of this unspoken business. You may want to speak this business and then see what his intentions are, because if he's busy with other girls, you don't even want to be holding hands with him anyway. Ken?
Just about this question, it's like for a definite answer, the best thing would just be to turn away and just cut your losses, because he also lives far away, and that's just a bad situation to put yourself into. And it's going to sound kind of harsh, but if you were able to have your friends kind of put you in a situation to break up with a guy, and you weren't able to stand your ground on something like that, that teaches you, maybe I should not do that again, and B, that's just a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the question that was asked, like, there's 3 different questions. So the first one, should I tell him? I'm kind of with Lyric. I think it's a little bit in the past. You're bringing it into your current. So if you feel like it's necessary that you should say something to him, do so. It may also be incomplete for him. Like he might not know why you broke up with him, and like you said, you didn't share with him, so he might be questioning as well. So just tell him why you broke up with him. Don't share your current feelings. I think answering your third one, you should just move on. Victoria?
And you cannot please everybody, so.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, you know how some days you lay in your bed and you think, oh, well, was there something I was supposed to be doing today? Like, you have that feeling of unfinished business. Maybe that cloud can hang over us in terms of relationships, and we're giving you permission to cut this rope. Like, there's not that much attaching you to this guy. It's okay to just let this be water under a bridge. Lyric.
But I feel like she likes him. Like
I
she's
know,
still,
but
and I mean
while
that is
she-
really hard to be like, I'm just, I'm gonna stop liking him.
He doesn't live local.
No, I know, but like it sounds like they're hanging out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know all the details.
Yeah,
Ken.
so I don't know.
I know you guys, like, I totally agree with you guys when you say the best thing to do would be tell him how you feel. But at the same time, if you like him and you know you like him, and being around him probably might spark that, especially if you're going to be talking about something intimate like this, that might put yourself in a worse situation.
Well, first of all, I want to clarify. Like, I never said tell him how you feel. I said tell him why you broke up with him. I said don't share how you feel. And if you're going to also tell him, go into it knowing that this doesn't change anything. Like, you two are probably going to live separate lives, and this will create a clean slate, and you'll complete the past and complete what you had. But at the end of the day, I think, Lyric.
Josh, would you read the next question, please? I
okay.
think we've helped, and it's one of those things that she's going to have to
Figure
listen
out
to our
on
advice and then come to her own decision.
Okay, so Anonymous wrote, this guy who is best friends with my best friend's boyfriend messaged me and asked if I would make out with him when me and my best friend hang out with him and her boyfriend in a couple weeks. He has a girlfriend. What do I do?
I want to talk so badly.
Yeah,
but
go.
But I'm
Say
just saying, like,
something.
you know what to do. I'm like doing a Victoria,
Well,
like.
Don't.
Oh, please.
Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't something you get to. Rick, please help me, because
Wait a minute.
I
though.
just.
So okay. So the person who asked you to make out with has a girlfriend. That doesn't necessarily mean they're monogamous. Ask what the terms of their relationship are first, and then, are there any complications after that? It's like, oh, we're in an open relationship. Yeah, my girlfriend knows that I asked you to make out.
Do you think that's
What-
someone you
what's the
can?
problem?
Is that appropriate? Is that like etiquette? You can text someone, "Hey, do you want to make out?" Like,
I don't think that's how it
one
was,
does
though.
that.
I don't
Why
think
don't you
that's
send
like
a Hallmark
how it
card that says-
started.
That'd be really.
I don't think he was just out of the blue like make out ?
oh, so
I
okay.
don't
It
think
just to
that's-
me it seemed like really crude. But help me, Rick,
No,
because
yeah, that's like,
all right, help me, anyone on the panel, because I'm doing this mom thing where I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh gosh. Okay, so first, what if he accidentally was trying to text his girlfriend?
No.
What?
I'm
What?
just trying to bring the
Text their
light to
girlfriend
the
and goes,
situation.
There
Yeah,
is
babe.
no light to this situation. This is how
Okay,
life is.
okay.
It's not.
And if not, you. Golly, this is.
Maybe
Golly.
he was trying
Stop.
to make out.
Okay,
Like,
I
why
feel
would he
like- no,
text
I
his
feel like,
girlfriend
you
to
know, when
make
you
out
text your
too?
girlfriend and be like, hey, want
Like,
to make out today?
This is like sort of a rendezvous that's being organized, right? And someone in the group doesn't have anyone to make out with, so it's like, hey, you're not making out with anyone. Would you like to make out?
You're not
That's how
busy.
it feels to me.
But
Kent.
like, golly.
Golly.
Gosh darn it!
Golly jeepers.
What do I do?
Okay,
Darn.
gosh.
Nabbit.
Cussing on journals.
Journals cussing.
Oh gosh. Okay, so first of all, this is kind of like if he still is with the best friend, obviously the right answer would be not to make out with him, because even if he wasn't with your best friend, she's your best friend. You're going to make it bad with your best friend, or you're going to have to choose, So like
This person's not with your best friend though.
No,
Like,
he just
this
has a
person
girlfriend.
is friends with her best friend's boyfriend. It got really confused. That's why I
I'm
was
so
reading it. I
Very
was so
confusing.
confused.
It's just
But
a rendezvous
At the end
kids.
of the day, the question is: a guy has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do I kiss him?
Right. And shouldn't you just let things unfold, Rick? Is that the kind of thing that you want to like, all right, let me pencil you down for that. I got that. And will there be tongue? Let me see if I can check that box. I mean, isn't it the kind of thing where you should just wait and see what happens and then you could be like, wait, don't you have a girlfriend? Is this is something that you prearranged via text? Ken?
Well, okay, this is going to sound like a bit kind of crude in a way, but I mean, you don't owe anyone anything. If you want to make out with this guy, make out with this guy. If you don't, then don't. It's just kind of straightforward. If you don't, that's it. Yeah, that's Rick.
I'm with Ken as long as it's not going to hurt the girlfriend
Yeah.
of this guy. And as far as what you're saying, like, is it crude to, like, text, like, hey, want to do this? I'm all for clarity. I hate the Netflix and chill thing because that's just vague.
Messed
Like,
up.
I don't know how to prepare. I need to prepare.
Yeah, like what would we even watch?
Exactly. So if someone's like, hey, I want to do this, and that to you, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
All right, so maybe we should invent an app where you get to like you
There are
get to
many.
tick off boxes of
Darn
things
it,
that are
Louise.
Wait, it's already here. It's called Tinder. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up real quick. I think I agree with Rick and Kenneth.
You agree with
I had to look at
Kenneth?
you.
Wow.
But in the situation that they know, like, this situation's open. However, I would also caution you that you may and more than likely will develop feelings for this person, and that's a possibility.
Thank you.
It's always
So-
a possibility, but it also
And
might not.
well, if they're young, yes, they're going to.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
And at the end of the
You win
day,
on that.
yeah, just be careful.
That's
yeah,
really
be
true.
careful.
Realize that. If
Especially
you're like,
if like you wrote to us with asking permission to not do it, you have permission to
if
not
you're
do it.
under 20, just like have the disclaimer that you might, like, there's a 50% chance that you're going to get feelings for this person.
What happens? What's the magical thing at 20?
Because like that's
No,
when
you're-
that's when you kind of go to
You
college
become
and
hard.
you kind of realize you're in a
You
no.
become
No, no,
No.
You go to college at 18.
I just want you all to know feelings stay feelings. We always stay human.
Like there's less
Who wants to
emotion.
read a really long question from Anonymous?
Lyric.
Lyric?
I'm into long questions
I
now,
know.
so
I mean,
sorry.
supposedly I like long questions.
No, because you weren't there before. I was like, can I have a medium?
I mean, I can read
Okay.
it.
All right,
I'll-
Ken.
Okay, I'll read it. I got you,
How
fam.
dare you take my
No,
question?
I thought I was doing something
Okay, go.
good.
Read
okay.
it.
This is a good one.
At school, I'm in a squad, which is just a group of friends, basically. And we are all the popular ones because of this girl, Laura. She thinks she's the queen and the leader of the group, and she thinks she can boss everyone about. Sometimes when we go shopping together, she'll be like, ew, why would you want to go into Primark? It's so cheap and chavvy. And chavvy, I'm sorry.
Shabby.
These are
Shabby
British.
chic.
These are British girls. You can read
Get
this
it.
in a British
Right.
accent.
Oh,
It means
I cannot.
trashy. It means trashy.
It's so
Chavvy.
You want
So
me to do
chavvy.
it?
If you have fake Adidas or Nike trainers, you're considered a tramp. So she stuck up, and I'm starting to hate her more and more by the day. But then I made friends with someone from a different squad, and Laura didn't like it. So she said that if I started hanging out with them, she'd turn everyone against me and judge me. I really need advice.
All right. So then-
BTW, Primark is a UK closed store, and chavvy in this context means like tacky or trashy. Also, this question is so mean, girls.
that was a note from
Honestly,
Jenny who
not a
cultivated Joshua.
I mean,
This is so mean, girls.
you're already like kind of doing this squad thing.
she's
so I
in
mean,
a squad.
I'm gonna kind of.
She's straddling between two
hate myself
squads.
for doing this, but I'm gonna kind of pull a Brady in a bit. Like,
Pull
like,
the Brady.
Put like she says she's going to make everyone against me, so put everybody against her. Like she's the one being a real.
No.
So do
Yes, I like
Do it.
this.
Oh no.
Do it.
Dude, truth.
This is not a movie.
It is.
Dude, it's
Wait,
Mean
so
Girls.
you're
Did you not
saying,
get that?
Like, a mutiny
It's not-
squad?
Yeah, do a mutant squad.
Mutiny squad.
Dude, if somebody else
Oh,
likes you,
those
this
are
person
fighting
is
words.
treating you
I mean,
badly,
she
then
has
why would
to-
you stick with
At
them?
the end of the day, whoever Laura is, like this person obviously is getting a thrill out of bossing people around, and in a way, she doesn't need to do anything, but she's not going to get far in life, and she needs to really see like a situation in which the tables are turned.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I feel like if she's supposedly the queen, that might not
Well, it
go
sounds
well.
like there's another queen in the other squad.
No,
so-
she didn't say this person was the second queen. She just said there's this other person that finds me enjoyable to be around.
another squad.
And so, to be honest, like, just before you go, be upfront with her and be like, you're a
B.
darn arsehole, and you like not don't be like that, but just be like in your British language. Give your British insults and be like, you are not a good person, and the fact that you are putting me in this position is messed up, and I don't like you.
Chubby,
Oh my
chubby.
1, 2, 3. Shh.
I
But
like me Adidas.
no,
Yeah,
stop.
finish,
Can you
finish,
stop?
Ken.
Can you
Finish,
stop?
Ken.
Awesome. Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
It's fine.
So what I'm trying to say is be straightforward with her. What you're doing is messed up. Like, you're putting me in a situation that you should never put anyone in, and I don't want to be part of your friend group anymore. If you want to spread rumors about me, fine, but just know that you're a bad person. That's it. Rick.
Yeah, so Ken, I'm with you, and like Josh, I love like escalating petty drama, so I'm with you there too on the mini squad. But at the same time, it's like, is this person, is Queen Bee really worth any more of your time? Like, just boot off and head towards the nice people, because, you know, you mentioned it's like the popular squad, right? Well, if popularity is all about having friends and good people to hang out with and being liked and liking the people who like you, like, you found that. That's lovely. Good for you.
Victoria.
Oh, were you first?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. What I was gonna say is like basically what you said. Like, it's either spend the rest of your school time with this mean person or be friends with this person that you actually like.
Lyric?
I mean,
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, she's saying that she's going to turn everyone against you. And, like, the thing is, if she's going to turn everyone against you, now, people usually say everyone, but it's really not everyone because clearly you have a friend here. So she's not going to really turn your friend against you. So I think everyone could mean just everyone in Laura's squad, like, in that group, but it would not be every single person.
So usually in the popular squad, it's like balancing on the head of a pin. Because if there's a mean girl running the popular squad, one wrong move and you're bounced out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so being popular is not that much fun. It's really scary. You always live in fear of being bounced out. And you've got a squad to bounce to. I would say bounce, because way cooler people are less judgmental, and you've got that option now, that escape hatch. I would say go for it, Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What you were saying is so true. Not that many people have that escape exit
Yeah.
for them. People are either like, this person doesn't like me, I now have nowhere to go. But the fact that you have a group of friends that are like, you can come over here, you don't have to deal with them anymore. But I just wanted to make something very, very clear. You have to have that conversation with this girl, Laura, where you're like, what you're doing is wrong. I don't, in like what you're just, I'm going to go to this different friend group. You're a bad person. Bye. And that can make them think to at least maybe decide to not do what they said and turn everyone against you, Josh.
Yeah, I think that I agree. If you're going to leave your friend group, let her know why and let her know she's not the greatest of people and how she makes you feel. And if you're going to go the other route, watch Mean Girls and do some research and do that.
I say take your knockoff shoes and walk away from her.
Ooh.
Yeah, knockoff shoes are amazing.
Take 'em
by the
off.
way.
Let's
Be
And then
chavvy. Let's
No!
all be chavvy. Let's be chavvy
But
together.
make the chavvy thing
Chavies
like
are-
popular.
Yeah, your squad's not called Chavvy. Chavvy Squad. Chavvy Squad rocks. We're gonna make T-shirts that say Chavvy Squad.
But that means the trashy squad.
I know, but we're gonna make that awesome.
Can I read this one?
Yes.
What do winky faces over Snapchat mean if they come from a guy? Sorry.
Dun, dun,
Well,
They came from a guy.
as long as it's not your teacher, they're
A
good.
guy.
If it's
Why did we have to go there? We had to
in college, that changes a bit.
Whoa, Rick. Educate.
No, I have nothing more on that.
So yeah, isn't this? We know, right? Who's a guy? Ken.
Me.
Could it mean anything other than I'm flirting with you? Like, how could it mean anything other than that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
If
it
you get
doesn't
a
even have to
winky
be
face,
If it means
like,
he's in love with you,
I'm
he
not
wants to
gonna
get
lie.
married.
There is like a fear into sending a winky face where you're like, if I'm doing this, I'm kind of like,
committing.
I'm making a stretch here. Like, I don't know if any of you seen those risky text memes, but it's like that. You're like definitely putting yourself out there. So
yeah.
Go, Rick.
See, I not to shame anyone who uses the winky face, like, do it. But at the same time, it's just like really lazy flirting.
it's definitely a shameful thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's so lazy, and it's like, okay, if that's like a flirting thing that's going to sex, like, you know, it's not a very creative person. You know, he might not be that great at sex unless you like vanilla sex, which is totally okay. Just know that going into it.
Maybe it's like the Snapchat version of poking people. I don't know.
Uh,
Because people still poke you on Facebook. Like, why don't you just talk to me? What's happening? Josh.
well, I mean, yeah, I agree with what people say. In most cases, it's flirting. I mean, I kind of hate that it's been ruined for just regular texting because, like, sometimes I just want to text and be like, oh, this deserves a winky face. No, because they're going to take it wrong. So I'm like, I don't use winky face anymore at all, really.
All right, I'm going to tell you a little story.
Oh.
So my young cousin was staying with me, and he had a brand new girlfriend, and they were texting each other goodnight, and he couldn't figure out how to end the conversation. It was like brand new, like 4 days old, over spring break. And I go, how about the boy and the girl holding hands? And he was like, should I? And I'm like, yeah. And then she texted back, oh, that's so cute, I can't sleep. So he was he's like, thank you. So I gave emoji advice.
But
Like, I'm a hero.
If you wanted to end the conversation, now she can't sleep. Like,
But she was really, she liked it.
Bad.
What?
but he wanted to go to bed, and now
No.
that she can't
Yeah,
go
you
to
want to
sleep,
end the conversation.
you just
in
made
a
him
way,
stay
no, I
up the
can't
rest of the
sleep.
night.
No, but she meant like in a good way because she was feeling loved.
Well, then she's
Like, it
still
was
not. She's
cute.
gonna not sleep. She's gonna be like,
Why
That
can't you just
boy.
congratulate me?
No.
Congratulations.
I'm an
Okay.
emoji
You should have
helpline.
put all the hearts, just like the rainbow ones.
Rick,
the
I'm an emoji helpline. Like,
one.
why won't they give me? All right, Rick, would you like to read a question? Anonymous
All
writes,
right.
my best friend.
My best friend has been ignoring me this past year, and I know that she has been excluding me from certain things like parties and hangouts. I don't know why, because I was never mean to her. I want to keep being best friends with her, but I don't know how to confront her about it. She doesn't even bother to text me anymore. I went through this whole year without her being there for me, when this was the year that I needed her most. I just need my best friend to be my best friend again. How should I confront her about it? How should I start off the conversation when I finally decide to text her?
Done.
Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's not something that you just like try to dance around. Just be real, be straightforward, and let her know how you're feeling. I also think relationships change with ebb and flow throughout the seasons of life, and I think that this person isn't necessarily your best friend, at least over the last year. And their possibility may not even be your friend moving forward. They may be your friend. They may be your best friend. Who knows? I think the only way to solve it is have a conversation.
Should
And
we be texting delicate emotions?
Never.
No, I would
No, I
have
was
a
gonna say
face-to-face
do it in
conversation.
person.
Yeah, don't
But
text this.
Also, like, just, I'm going to be blunt about this. Just drop the person. This is ridiculous. The fact that they're supposed to be your best friend and they're doing this to you, they're causing you more harm and they're your
Yeah.
friend. Like, that's straight up ridiculous. So just don't even waste your time unless you feel like you need to express yourself and be like, you've been a bad friend, then I'm all for it. Go for it. Talk to them. Tell them how you feel. But if it's something that, like, I'm more like, I want this person to be my best friend again, I'm sorry to tell you, but they're not even if they became your best friend again, they're not a good friend.
But you still have to make I statements. You don't accuse people of being things. You just say, I feel hurt, and you tell them how you feel. Because the conversation's going to go nowhere if you say you've been a bad friend. It's like, all right, now we're screaming at each other again. So you have to say how you feel. Lyric.
Yeah, I mean, like, you really have to think about, like, who you're surrounding yourself with because that's who you spend time with. And, I mean, I get that it's going to be totally hard because this is your best friend. This is someone who you've probably, like, spent a lot of time with, really gotten to know them. And I've been there where you're, like, built up so much of a friendship with a person, then it's just totally dropped and you're like, I don't know what to do. So it can be really hard, and like it's not so easy to just be like, all right, we're done. But I think you have to have a conversation with this person because some people, they don't even know that what they're doing is hurtful, which it sounds like this person either could just be trying to totally separate from you, like not even from something that you've done, just like, you know, those people that just try to detach, or it could be that they're like something on their mind and they're not even realizing how they have been treating you. So I think definitely confronting them or talking to them, not even confronting them, and just saying like, I'm feeling really like I haven't been talking to you a lot and I really want that connection again, and see what they
miss
say.
you.
I miss
if
you.
If you're going to text
Yeah.
something, you can just text I miss you. But we're going to jump to
Yeah.
to this last question just because it's kind of fascinating. Victoria, would you like to read that last question?
Not really.
Not really? Lyric, would you like to read that last question?
Sure.
That's the word boobs in
Wait.
it. I'm just warning you.
Why?
Oh my
Why
god.
did we choose this question?
Do you want to read this one, Kenneth?
Yeah, sure.
In a British accent, please.
Please do it, sir.
No, the Mexican one you were doing earlier.
Oh my
Good.
god. Do it like that.
If a girl has naturally big boobs, is skinny, but her face is average, is she automatically considered hot, or does this face matter?
Wait, I have to translate that. What he said. Kenneth. Oh my god.
God.
He said if a boob has naturally big girls, if a girl has naturally big boobs, is skinny, but her face is average, is she automatically considered hot, or does the face matter? So, this is so wrong on so many
Face
levels.
matters.
So that the person asking the question assumes that she's being judged on the basis of hot or not hot, and that she's not being judged on any other aspects of her character or personality. But Lyric, please talk.
Okay, the thing is, like, people, when they say someone's hot, it's not they're like, oh, her personality's so hot. Like, that's not what people tend to do, which is unfortunate. But when people say someone is hot, like, I feel like the face is usually what they're looking at. But sometimes the overall picture can be, like, hot. Like, if someone has, like really pretty eyes or something, and, like, maybe, like, yeah, that can be like, oh, that, or someone has really pretty hair, someone has like a feature that stands out. But I think, and that can make people be like, oh, she's really hot. But I don't know, like, I don't know, you would have to ask.
So the question, I got it. The question is saying, how will the, wait, let me finish.
Okay.
This question is a young kid saying, how will the world see me?
Okay.
So
Just
let's keep
this in mind. Would you rather be with someone that is average looking but has an amazing personality, or be with someone who is extremely good looking and like bodily wise but has no personality at all?
Personality. For me,
Also-
but everyone's... Oh, go ahead, Rick.
I just have to jump in. Wait, Kenneth, are you Mexican?
No.
Okay, so we just have to call out that was not cool. I mean, just generally, like, learning moment.
Learning moment.
Cool.
Who has something else about this question? Are you okay, Kenneth?
Yeah, but I like.
Would you like to explain that accent? Maybe it would help Rick.
Well, no, like I'm not like just like. I mean, I'm Hispanic, but like I don't know if that makes anything different. I didn't mean it like it was like a Mexican accent, like I was being racist toward that. But like, yeah, I'm definitely not just like straight up calling out this ethnicity and disrespecting it.
You were being silly, correct?
No, yeah, I wasn't like, I'm just trying to explain myself. Like I wasn't trying to disrespect the ethnicity or something like that. It's like I'm coming from.
So that's cool. Just like in the context, that was just unclear.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I totally understand that.
We sometimes the kids do accents when they read questions, so I don't think that he meant any disrespect, and that's maybe something I should be more aware of. So thank you for pointing that out, Rick.
But I also can totally understand your situation if if someone out of the blue just said something like that, which is practically what I did.
Victoria.
Okay, I am half Mexican, so I didn't find anything that was offensive of it, but I do understand that some people would. So yeah, you're okay. Everybody's okay. Everybody's cool. Yeah. So we can continue.
Okay, so let's continue and lesson learned, and let's finish this question, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I have to say is just be yourself, and that will win at the end of the day.
And can I also say that at this age where you're wondering if, how will I be considered hot or not hot, like, how you look at 14 or 16 isn't really how you're going to look throughout your adult life. You're still kind of a work in progress. And so don't look in the mirror and too negatively judge any aspect of your face or your body, because it's all kind of transitional. And work on your personality, because that's something you do have more control over than exactly genetically how you look. Victoria?
At the end of the day, we're just going to fade away, and we're not going to be the same anymore. Like, if that's what people are focusing on, then that's very sad. They're going to lose them very fast. So I
suggest... Be awesome. Yeah. Just be awesome.
Be yourself.
And that's what's going to last.
I like to think of it as everybody is beautiful in their own way, that someone in the world will find them beautiful. So...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your personality is something that is consistent, but your looks is something that's not. So.
Right. Yay! Thank you, teenlineonline.org. Please visit them and call them and text them now, because they're there to help you. And that's what they're all about. We really appreciate you guys sharing yourselves with us tonight. And we will see you next week on Journals Out Loud. Bye-bye.
Bye.